University of Houston at the Bauer College of Business. Today we're going to talk about credit reports and FICO scores, and I will be unpacking the assignment for students who are signed up for personal finance at the University of Houston at the Bauer College of Business. So this is week 3. I am a little early. I'm actually way early, about 5 minutes early. So I was ready, I think, and I just wanted to get started. So I'm going to jump on over to the Zoom room. We've got some folks waiting in the Zoom room, so I'm just going to go ahead and let them in and welcome them. Hey there, everybody in the Zoom room. Welcome back. We are very early, so I just figured since we're all sitting here waiting, we might as well go ahead and open up the room. Asif, I see you. Good to see you here. I hope everything's good for you. I have not yet seen your assignment for week 2, I don't think. I graded everything that was in the queue Friday. So if you turned your assignments in early, they should have, if by Friday at 3 p.m., they should have been graded. You should have received the extra points. And if you were not able to get your assignments in early, I'm sorry. It's going to be a little bit delayed this week in terms of me grading them. This week had a holiday. Yesterday was a holiday. So anyway, it's going to take a little while. So anyway, welcome aboard, everyone. We have started the live stream. So if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, here's a wave. If you wouldn't mind, leave a comment. Let me know you're here, even though I'm not looking at your comments right now. When you post them live, or even if you're watching this at 2 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, either way, leave a comment. Let me know you're watching. We're going to jump right into today's lesson here in a few minutes. Got a couple minutes. So any questions, Nick, Christina, see if anything you guys want to ask while you're here early. This is your time, and it's good to see you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Awesome.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you. I can't see you. That's fine. I don't need to see you, but you can see me and you can hear me, right? You see the screen that I'm playing with on my iPad right now? You guys see that moving?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Wait, is there a way we can do it full screen on our end? Because it's I can only see 4 blocks or something. I don't know.
Is that right? That's good to know. So let me see if I can fix that. I'm going to go to Preferences. If anybody knows the answer to this question, I did not know that. I appreciate you. Is that true for everybody? Is everybody just seeing? Because what I'm seeing is these 4 boxes, which is not good. Let me see. Show active speaker video. No, that's not it. So is everybody just seeing the little box? You're not seeing the whole. You're not seeing my whole screen. That's not good. Let me know. Tell me, chat in and tell me if that's true for all of you or if it's just a Asif. I see the entire screen. So Christina, you see, this is your full screen is showing this is my iPad. So I have today's post on my iPad streaming into this. Is that correct? So you see this, you can actually read what's on that screen. Christina, yes, I see that. Okay, cool. So I'm assuming then, yes, Nick sees it, Christina sees it. That means, Asif, it's on your end. The setting is on your end. So I'm seeing on my screen, I'm seeing the same thing you're seeing, Asif, which is fine for me. I don't need to see my screen because I see my iPad. So I am going to let you figure that out. And if you don't figure it out in this Zoom meeting, you might want to watch the Zoom meeting on the replay. So again, it's 10:01 now. We're going to get started in a minute, but we usually don't start till 5 minutes after. So this again is your time. I appreciate you guys being here on time. We have a handful of folks here, which is not unusual. We start out the semester with a larger number of students showing up live to the Zoom room, and then we sometimes just turn into just me talking to myself. No, that's not true. Uh-oh. Ava, I didn't think you were going to make it today. I think that's the same Ava.
Yes, it is.
Hey, Ava, welcome. What's up? I thought you weren't going to make it.
Well, I went to my appointment a little early and they took me in, and
Nice.
I was able to make it back.
That never happens to me, getting in early for any kind of professional services. It's like it just doesn't happen anymore. So that's awesome. Welcome. I'm glad you made it.
Thank you.
So we're going to talk about credit scores, credit history, and credit scores, credit reports. That's what we're going to talk about today. And I'm going to go over this week's assignment, and you're going to get to have some inside information. And I'll go over that in a minute. I don't want to get started too soon because I kind of made a commitment that if you show up by 5 minutes after, then I will get started, and I generally don't want to start teaching and covering important content until 5 minutes after. So I always feel like I need to apologize to those of you who showed up on time and early, and if there's anything I can do to reward you, now's your time to ask a question, and maybe I can give you some help, an edge on this week's assignment, which I'm going to do right now because I'm going to give you an edge. I'm going to make an announcement rather, and I'm going to show you what announcement I'm going to make. And for those of you who are paying attention right now, you can get some extra points, or you can maybe not get extra points, but you will definitely maximize your points. So if you're turning your assignments in early, you're already getting 10 extra points. But moving forward, I'm going to do something different with the class collaboration points. I'm going to start making this, and I need your help. This is why it's still a little bit early. So those of you who are here, this is what I'm going to offer you is if you will remind me in these sessions, in these weekly Zoom meetings, and this will only apply if you're live. So if you're here, and if you are the one that reminds me during the lesson to not forget to announce what is this week's class collaboration screenshot, moving forward, I'm going to announce that during the Zoom meeting. And here's why. This is an asynchronous course, which means you do not have to be here during the Zoom meeting. But you are required to watch the lecture each week. And that's why we live stream it. That's why it's made available to you 24/7. That's why every one of these gets saved to our very special, your very own playlist in YouTube. So if you like Facebook, you can watch it on our Facebook page. But I always send out the link to, if you ask me, like Ava this morning, I sent her the link to the YouTube playlist. And that is where all of these Zoom meetings are going to end up for this semester. So you are required to watch it. If I were you, I would watch it at double speed. Like YouTube will let you play stuff at twice as fast, and you can listen. I promise you can listen twice as fast as I can talk. And so, if you watch it on YouTube, you will save a little time. But I really, really, really appreciate those of you who make it a point to be here. And I do try to make sure that you get special attention while you're here. But it's up to you to kind of post up, leave a comment, let me know if there's anything on your mind that I can help you with. I want to do that. So this week's class collaboration, I'm going to tell you what it is, but I want you to remind me. I want somebody to remind me when we get into today's lesson to make sure I announce it for those who come a little late. So what I'm going to do this week is I'm going to ask the question, what's the difference between a credit report and a FICO score? And you're going to learn all about that this week. Your homework assignment is going to give you tons of information about credit reports and FICO scores. I'm not concerned about your FICO score. You don't have to tell me your FICO score. I don't care about your FICO score. What this week's assignment is focused on, one of the major elements, is for you to grab a free credit report. And a credit report is different than a FICO score. A credit report is different than a credit score. And so this week's class collaboration is I want you to tell me in your own words, what's the difference between a credit report and a credit score, and how does that matter to you? Why would you take advantage of a free credit report? What's that? Oh, my battery's low. I just got a little notice on my screen. Sorry about that if it interrupted you. So that's this week's class collaboration. And I'm not going to post it, write it. I'm going to say it, okay? And that means it's kind of tricky. But look, you get 200 points for class collaboration. And so I want to make sure that we do a weekly class collaboration that relates to the lesson, that relates to the topic. And this week, that's what it is. So if you want to be the one that reminds me, the first one that reminds me, and you got to remind me after we get started. But before we end today, if one of you who heard what I just said will remind me to mention this week's class collaboration, not just this week, but every week, if you're the first one to remind me and you're live in the Zoom room, I will owe you 10 extra points or some other, I'll just say 10 extra points. So that's just extra points for you being aware, paying attention, being engaged, and hopefully that helps. But I do need your help. I need a reminder. So sometime before we end this week and every week, if you will make that your job, I will make it my job to commit to you to give you 10 extra points each time you do that. And so let's have a little contest. So let's get started. Okay. It is now 10:08, which means it is time to get started. So I posted this on missionalmoney.com. That's my kind of educational website. And that's where I post stuff because it's just easy. And so that's where this is. If you go to missionalmoney.com, you can search for week 3 or credit report or any of those words, and the search should bring up this post. Or alternatively, if you're watching this video on YouTube or Facebook, excuse me, if you're watching this anywhere, in the notes, there should be a link to this post. So you'll be able to see exactly what I'm seeing right here. Not that you need to, because if you're in this course, you're seeing it in your assignment, you're seeing it in Money Study Group. But just FYI, there is some extra fun stuff in this post because I wanted it all in one place so I could show you. So this week we're going to talk about FICO scores and credit report, and you will have a quiz. The quiz isn't difficult, and there is a couple of resources in Money Study Group that will, excuse me, there are a couple of resources in Money Study Group that will give you all the answers to the quiz. And there's a white paper, I guess it's a PDF, that is from the folks who do the credit scores. And it's really a great summary of what's in your credit report, or what's in your credit score. And so that is important for this week's assignment. But I don't really need to know what your credit score is. So what you're going to do this week in this assignment is get a free credit report. The credit report is so important to your financial life, especially if you're a college student. If you're a college student, you are a target for creditors. And so we're going to talk about credit a lot during this semester, credit and debt. But today specifically, we're setting the table with your credit report, and you're going to learn about your credit score, what makes up your credit score and why it's important. And I want you to understand that. I want you to learn a few of the basic ingredients of your credit score, because your credit report is what will have the information that you will be able to access if you do a free credit report. If you do that, you can do it. I think you can do it 3 times a year. So there are 3 credit reporting agencies. There may be 4 now. I believe there are 4 now, but there are 3 for sure that are the main ones. And each of them will give you a free credit report every year. So if you do one in the first quarter, one in the second quarter, and sometime in the third or fourth quarter, you can do 3 credit reports each year and get the full data on you, everything that the credit bureau has about you and your credit history and your credit behavior, all of that information will be on your credit report. So you're going to do a credit report this week. It's free, but it's a really important piece of your financial planning puzzle, and I want you to do that. I want to mention also, so you're going to do that. You're going to do the credit report. You're going to also give me a list, a creditor list, which is really, so this creditor list, you will see this in your assignment. It's spelled out, but it's basically, I want to talk about it and answer any questions you might have. Is the week 3 credit quiz called session 3 quiz in money study group? I think it is. I'll check that, Cedra. I just saw your question. Let me get to that in a minute. Does anybody know the answer to that? What is the title of week 3 credit quiz? Is it called session 3 quiz? I can change the name of that. I probably should. Anyway, back to your credit report and your creditor list. Now, what I've found in teaching this course for many years now is that a lot of students, and this is not just true for students, it's true for so back to the question, Christina said, yes, it is. So Cedar, the answer to your question is yes, that is the quiz you want to take this week. And I will try to remember to go and change the name so that it makes more sense, because the name of the quiz should be credit reports and credit scores. So thanks for the question. Okay, back to the creditor list. So what I've found over the years is that a lot of people, and this is true for college students in particular, I'm afraid, a lot of people don't even know who they owe money to, okay? And so it's a good habit to know that. And if you build your financial plan using the tools that you're going to have available to you this semester through Bayrock, through my company, through Right Capital, if you use that tool, one of the things you'll be able to do is you can link all of your accounts. That would mean all of your credit accounts, and including any, bank account, credit union, whatever. It's a great way for you to see your entire financial life in one place. And so if you have debt, then this is a list that I want you to put together, because I want to know that in this semester we did a couple of things that are really important for you. And one of them is to know, who do you owe money to? How much money do you owe them? What's the interest rate? When do you have to start paying? And what's the monthly payment? So just put that list together. You should already have that list, but if you do not, this is your opportunity to put that list together and give me a screenshot of that so that I know you've done it. I will delete it. I won't keep it. I don't care. You don't need to give me any personal information. But that is your assignment, and it's a very important piece of the assignment. So 3 things. 1, you're going to get the credit report. 2, you're going to give me the credit list. Who do you owe money to? And number 3, on the credit report, what you're going to do is you're going to tell me what you learned. Like, what surprises did you discover? So every semester when I read the assignments, I see that students find out something is on their credit report that they had no idea. Like sometimes it's a parent who borrowed money and used your name and your social security number. So that's the 3 parts of the credit report assignment. You're going to get the credit report, you're going to put together a creditor list, and you're just going to tell me what you learned and what you discovered, any surprises, nothing complicated. So let me just mention too about the credit report. In this assignment, it's really easy usually for just to download the PDF of your credit report. And typically I ask you to give me 1 document when you submit your assignment. But this week I'm going to make an exception. And it's easy for you just to download your PDF and then upload that as part of your assignment. That way I know it's done. Now, I get this question every semester, and it's a very, very fair question. What do you want my credit report for? And the answer is, I don't want your credit report. I won't even really look at your credit report. I'll just see that it's there. And it's just easy for you to say, here it is. And if you want to do that, feel free to do that. If you want to take a screenshot of part of your credit report and do that instead, whatever you want to do. I just want to know that you did get a credit report. So let me talk about credit reports and Social Security numbers and students who can't get a credit report. So before I get into the second part of the assignment, which is updating your Bayrock Right Capital financial planning portal, before I get to that, let me finish up on credit reports and what's important about that assignment. So I'm going to scroll down, and this will be in Canvas as well, but there is an assignment B, and this assignment B is only for, excuse me, it's only for students who don't have a Social Security number. So if you don't have a Social Security number, you won't be able to get a free credit report. It means you probably don't have credit. And so if you don't have a Social Security number, you won't be able to get a credit report. And that means only those of you who don't have a Social Security number will do this assignment B. So if it's confusing, I'm sorry. Let me help you not be confused. Pay attention to what I'm about to say, because I promise you there will be questions in GroupMe for students who are asking about Assignment B. Assignment B is only for students who cannot do a credit report because typically they don't have a Social Security number. If you have a Social Security number, if you're able to get your credit report, you can totally disregard Assignment B. It does not apply to you. So it is what it is. It could have been a separate assignment, but that screws up the points in Blackboard or Canvas anyway. So please help me communicate that to students who are not paying attention right now and don't understand that Assignment B is only for students who don't have a Social Security number and cannot do a credit report, can't grab a credit report. Now, some of you have a Social Security number and you won't be able to get a credit report because you have no credit. You don't owe anybody anything. You haven't taken out any credit cards. But you can get generally you can get a credit report that basically says you don't have a credit report. It's a report that says you don't have any data in the system. And that's okay. That's good. That's easy. You just tell me that. And your creditor list then would be don't have any creditors, and that would be awesome. And that's all you have to do is tell me that. And so hopefully, even if you can't get a credit report, hopefully, I'm assuming you have a Social Security number, but you don't have any credit. Those of you who are in that situation, I'm hoping you can still learn the value and understand what's in a credit report, because one day maybe you will get married, or one day maybe you'll have a friend who has issues with their credit, and you could be a resource. And this is not complicated. It's very valuable information, and I hope you'll learn, even if you don't get a credit report. Some of you are going to discover some surprises, and you're going to find this assignment is really pretty practical and very helpful, and something you want to do every year. So that's the credit report. Now I'm looking for, I don't see that special chat. It's now 10:19, which means we're getting close to almost halfway, and nobody's asked the magic question. The magic question being, what is this week's class collaboration? So I guess I should set a few ground rules for that extra special 10 points that you will get if you ask the question and you're the first one to ask. Oh, Ava gets the 10 points because she came in just under the line. Just as I was about to tell you what this week's class collaboration was, Ava is asking the question. She's reminding me, rather, don't forget to talk about the class collab. Good job, Ava. You just earned 10 extra points. How'd you do that? Why did nobody else do that? Remember, all you got to do is be the first one to remind me each week in our Zoom meeting, what is this week's class collaboration screenshot? So each week you get 200 points this semester for class collaboration. And the way that I kind of track that is each week, usually I post it right in the assignment, but I've done a terrible job of that because I forget, I change it from week to week and blah, blah, blah. So what we're going to do moving forward, with your help, with reminders like what Ava just gave me, is each week in the Zoom meeting, I'm going to announce what is this week's class collaboration. And it's just a screenshot, but it's your comments. It's your reflection. It's something that you will be talking about and posting. So this week's class collaboration is I'm going to give you a couple of them, because a couple of options rather. But the main one is to, let's see, Camille, I'm going to make another announcement in a minute, but I have to admit a student who's late. So I'm going to admit Camille. I hope I'm saying your name right. Welcome, Camille. Did I say your name right? Can you hear me? Are you there? So while I'm waiting for a response from Camille, our new student, I want to invite everybody to post in. If you haven't done so, post in the chat that you're here. If you're in the Zoom meeting, every week you need to post in what time you got here, and do that now. So please post in. Bella, that's great. Just put in what time you got here if you don't mind. Say, if you got here at 9:56, great, post that. If you got here at 10:04, post that. We just had a student show up. Let's see. Camille, can you hear me? Can you see my screen? Can you hear me? Hello? I'm waiting. So you're new, right?
This is the first time I've been in the room. Yes, sir.
Okay, so you missed an important announcement. I'm letting you in this session because you're new, and I'm going to talk about this week. I'm going to make an exception for every student in the course, because I'm making an exception for you to turn in some late assignments because you're just joining the course. But here's what you need to know. These Zoom meetings are required. You don't have to be here during the Zoom meeting, but we record them and we post them to our YouTube playlist every week, and you are required to watch them. However, if you show up for the Zoom meeting and it's past 5 minutes after 10 a.m., I'm not going to accept you into the Zoom room, because it is 10:23 right now, and I've already covered a good deal of today's lecture, and you missed it. So you will need to go watch the Zoom meeting that's been live streamed. You're going to want to do that, and you're going to need to do that every week. So if you can show up on time, great. If you show up at 10:06 or 10:07, I'm not going to admit you in the Zoom room. So that was just FYI. Here's another FYI. So Bella asked a question. We are still allowed to turn in the first assignment if we joined the course late. Bella, that's a great question. And so there's a couple students who joined the course late, and I'm going to say, yes, I want you to complete that assignment. And I don't feel like it's right to penalize you. If you turn in a late assignment, you get 1 point. And you want to do every assignment in this course, because if you don't do the assignment and you end up with a 0, not only do you get a 0, but you get a 20-point deduction for every assignment you miss throughout the semester. It comes right off of your class collaboration. You cannot get class collaboration if you're not doing the assignments. So you get a deduction from that 200 points. So a 0 is worse than a 0. It's a negative 20. If you do an assignment and it's 10 minutes late, or 1 day late, or up to 2 weeks late, you get 1 point. And that 1 point is worth 1 point, but it also means you won't get the deduction. So if you turn in a late assignment, you can only turn in a late assignment up to 2 weeks after the due date, and you get 1 point. And if it's 5 minutes late, it's late, and I don't know what to tell you about that. You get 10 extra points for turning your assignments in early by Friday at 3 p.m. So I don't know why you wouldn't do that. But if you want to wait until 10:05 a.m. on Tuesday, you'll get 1 point. That's the way it is. So the students who came late, I don't feel like it's right, since I accepted you in the course. I don't feel like it's right to put you at a disadvantage and not give you full points, 50 points. You won't get the extra 10 points because you didn't turn them in early, but you'll get the 50 points. And because I'm making that exception for the students who are coming on board late, I want to make that exception for everyone. And I don't I never do this. And some of you begged me for an exception, and I said what I always say, no. But now I'm going back and I'm going to say, if you have an assignment from week 1 or week 2 that you weren't able to turn in, you got a 0 or you got a 1 for turning it in late, everyone who did that, everyone in that situation, if you turn the assignment in, and if the assignment is complete and you have all the information you need to, then you will get the 50 points. You won't be penalized. So get those done. That has to be done this week by Friday at 3 p.m. That's the deadline. Will somebody please post that in the chat for me? The deadline for late assignments, this is a one-time exception. The deadline is this Friday at 3 p.m. This Friday at 3 p.m. If you're one of those students who missed the first or second assignment or it was turned in late, I'm making an exception. You can go back and submit it and you'll get the full points. If you've already submitted it, I will take care of that. If you have 1 point for assignment 1 or assignment 2, I will go in and I'll update that and give you 50 points. I hope that helps. I hope you love me. I hope that everything goes peachy keen for you this whole semester. So thank you very much, Christina. 1 and 2 last night. Cool. Camille, this was, and I know that's a direct message, so not everybody can see it, just you and me, but that's cool. You are the main reason that I wanted to make this exception. And welcome, by the way, to the course. I hope it works out great for you. You missed a couple weeks, but you're in good shape. So here we go. Let's get back to the lesson. So this week's class collaboration. This is important. Every week I'm going to ask you, and you're going to get extra points if you're the first one to remind me to talk about class collaboration. So this week's class collaboration, again, is what's the difference between a credit report and a credit score? And what difference does it make to you? Why would you want to do a credit report? What is the benefit of that? And why would you pay attention to your credit score? So this isn't a one-liner. This is a kind of maybe a paragraph or 2 or 3, okay? And you're going to post that somewhere, not in GroupMe. GroupMe doesn't count. You can post it in Money Study Group. In fact, let's talk about GroupMe for a minute. If you're here and you're watching this and you know I'm trying to trick you into watching this, because a lot of students don't, what do you think? What do you think about posting this week's class collaboration in GroupMe for the students who just don't bother to watch the lecture? Do you think that's fair? Do you think that's right? Do you think that's cool? I mean, if I'm the student who blows off the Zoom meeting every week and all I got to do is ask you in GroupMe to tell me what it is, boom, I'm good to go because you did the work for me. And believe me, that's kind of how I went through college. And, I'm smart enough now to know that maybe sometimes I should do things a little differently to preserve the integrity of those of you who are doing the work. So it's your GroupMe is yours. It's not my space. I try to avoid it. I ended up going in there this week for something or other, and I saw some things that somewhat disturbed me, or irritated me, flustered me, whatever. And I'm going to try to avoid it. And I'm not going to tell you what the rules are, but I am curious. I'm curious, what do you think? Should you go and post each week what the class collaboration is in GroupMe so that the students who shortcut and don't want to bother with the lecture should have access to that information? Are you that kind? Are you that generous? Are you willing to do that? Or is that maybe not cool? So let's see. It would be convenient for them, but unfair to everyone who takes the time to come to watch the lecture. Ava, I think that's right. But you know what? That's my opinion. And again, GroupMe is yours. It's your tool to collaborate, to help one another. But at some point, I know, and I'd probably be one of those students who'd be like, oh man, GroupMe's great. There's always a student who knows the answer. I can ask any question without bothering to do any homework, and they will help me along. And, that's not really what I intended for GroupMe, but it's yours, and I'm curious. So this is different. This is new. This is a change. The class collaboration is now going to be like this secret sauce that is only available in the lecture. And it's designed purposefully to try to incentivize you to actually watch. And again, you can watch this in our YouTube playlist, and you can watch it at double speed, which is exactly what I would do, because you can listen a lot faster than I can talk. So enough about that. That's this week's class collaboration to talk about the distinctions between credit report and credit score, what are the benefits? Why would you do a credit report? It's free. You can do it 3 times a year. And so talk about that. The other thing I want to just point out is if anybody is on Twitter or X, I set up an account on X. I'm a big fan of Elon Musk. I'm not even afraid to admit it. Although I know it could get me canceled, maybe even fired. Who knows? I could be blacklisted from whatever. But
people on the internet have been saying like he's taking Twitter to the ground. Like,
yeah, that's what they
going
say.
down in, like, revenue and
yeah, that no doubt. He's private though. It's his company, and he's got the money to do that. So hey, so check this out. These are just totally for fun, but I did post 25 funny tweets, or whatever they're called these days, just for fun to, now I got to tell you guys, this semester I made a change to the syllabus because not just me, probably you, many others are fascinated with this kind of new feature in life called AI, artificial intelligence, and primarily ChatGPT, which is a crazy tool. And I've been experimenting with it all summer. And one of the things it will do is you can give it a topic and say, give me 25 funny tweets with emojis and hashtags. And it takes like 10 seconds and you get this. So I don't want you to think that I sat here and thought about all. They're not even that funny, really. Some of them are downright stupid. But if you're looking for a minute to get a smile or scratch your head, they're there. And if you tweet them, you can use that for your class collaboration. But you have to grab a screenshot. And I don't know, that might get me in trouble. I hope not. But that's just for fun. All right, back to the course, back to the lecture. So I'm going to review one more time. Your credit report, 3 things come with that. Number 1, your credit report. Just prove to me that you did it. It's easy for you to upload that PDF with your assignment in Canvas, and I'm happy to look at that and confirm that you did it. Number 2 is, what did you learn? What surprises did you discover? And number 2 is your credit list. Make a list of your creditors. Who do you owe money to? How much do you owe? What's the monthly payment? When does that start? And that's part of your assignment. Just grab a screenshot. If you don't have that list, this is your opportunity to put that list together. It's very important. Okay, so and then the third part is just tell me what you learned. Did you discover any surprises when you did your credit report? So that's the credit report. The next thing is we're going to start talking about your capstone assignment. And your capstone assignment it's worth 200 points, and it's really the capstone assignment is really essentially kind of an aggregated report, a full report where you put all together each of the assignments you did throughout this semester using your Bayrock Right Capital financial planning portal. So each week, starting this week, and I think some of you provided some screenshots from last week just showing me that you set up your Bayrock account, your Right Capital. And to set up your financial plan, you have to set up an account with my company, Bayrock. And I hire a team, a technology partner called Right Capital. They're the ones that put together, I think, the best financial planning software on the market. And that's what you see here is just a screenshot from one of the data cards in a financial plan. So your capstone assignment is going to be it's going to be these screenshots, these assignments that you do throughout the semester. In the capstone assignment, I'm going to tell you which screenshots I want you to show me so that I know at the end of the semester you've done the work and you've put it all together in one report. So the capstone assignment is really very easy because each week you're going to do the assignment and you're going to kind of focus on different data cards within your financial plan. And I'm going to help you tweak those, and we're going to work on those throughout the semester. And then at the end of the semester, your capstone assignment is really just a matter of copying and pasting those screenshots with a few of your comments about each of those assignments, what you learned, how it impacted your thinking about financial planning and personal finance. And you're going to learn a ton throughout this semester. And this is the way that I'm going to teach you about personal finance, is by coaching you through creating a comprehensive financial plan. And so that's called the capstone. It's worth 200 points, and it starts today. I mean, essentially today I'm going to start talking about the capstone assignment, which I just did, and each week we're going to build onto the capstone assignment by completing each week's assignment as we go. And so the scope and sequence of Money Study Group is designed to help you create a comprehensive financial plan. Now, I'm going to mention right now that, so I posted something for those of you who were confused about your expenses. So here we have some expenses. And I know I confused you because I was jumping the gun a bit by telling you to give me expenses as if you were already graduated from college and you already had a job. And so I was a little early to mention that. That was a change I made last semester, and I apologize for the confusion. But here's the thing. You start out by just creating your financial plan. You set up each of these data cards. A very important part of every financial plan is expenses. And so the expenses are really what drive the probability of success in your financial plan. You have inflows, that's income, and expenses. And so you want to have more income and then investments that generate growth. And so all of that becomes part of your financial plan, but your expenses are very important. And so what we're going to try to do this semester, what I'm going to try to do, is help you better understand the expenses related to your life. And that's challenging because we have a wide range of situations right now with the folks who are taking this course. Many of you don't really have normal expenses because you're getting scholarships or grants or money from the government or parental support. Some of you are working. Some of you are out there doing a job and going to school. And those of you who are in that situation, it's easy. You just basically focus on what's real, and we work on your financial plan. But many of you are not in that situation. And so to fix that, what we've done in this course, what I've decided to do is to pretend that you're graduated, to pretend that you're 10 years older than you actually are, so that we can start to work on your financial plan as if you've already graduated. You've already got that job that you really want to get in that industry that you're working towards in your undergraduate college career. So you're going to have to start doing a little research. And I'm going to talk about this every week. This week is pretty simple. You'll see the instructions. You're just going to update your plan with some expenses. And you're going to, if you want to link your accounts, this is a great week to do it. Some of you have told me that you've chosen to use the Bayrock Right Capital Planning Portal to track your expenses this semester, and that's great. It will make your job much easier, and it will give your actual financial plan a lot more functionality. You'll have a lot more functionality. Now, you don't need to do that for this course, but it will make it easier for you. I know I always have to mention this, that when students are invited to link their accounts in my software, it's not really my software, it's the software I use for my private wealth management clients. It's great software, and I'm making it available for you. It does seem a little weird that I'm asking you to give me all your financial information, and I really don't want your financial information. Right Capital will never ask you for a social security number or anything private, but it will give you the opportunity to link your accounts so that your financial plan can display and read the feed, the data, the live data from pretty much any financial institution where you do business. So it could be a credit card, could be a bank account, could be a creditor, like anything you can think of. I mean, if you owe money, if you have a 401k, you can link that. So it gives you the same thing that you would get through mint.com. If you're not familiar with mint.com, I would go check it out, because that's the same technology that we use at Right Capital. It's very encrypted for bank level security. It's very secure. But again, I'm not trying to sell you on this. I just wanted to mention it. This would be a good week for you to link those accounts if you want to use your financial plan to the fullest extent that it's going to function for you. If you don't link accounts, you won't get a budgeting component inside Right Capital, which won't affect you moving forward or your capstone. You'll just need to use outside information. So for example, most of you are using your bank debit card to track your spending. That's perfect. And if you just have one debit card and that's the only thing you're using, that'll be just fine. And you'll just grab screenshots and you'll show me at the end of the semester when we do this assignment, where you show me that you tracked your expenses and you show me all of the data. Number two, you'll tell me what you learned about that. What did you discover by tracking your data? And number three, you're going to give me a chart, some kind of chart. So whatever tool you use, whether it's mint.com or your bank or Right Capital, you'll get to see a chart like this chart that shows the categories of your spending. And that helps you focus in on where are you spending money. Spending and expenses and cash flow, a huge part of any financial plan. So it's one of the things we will focus on over and over. And it's a big part of the capstone assignment. If you don't get your expenses right, if you don't think through what is it going to cost you to live when you graduate and you get that job, what's it going to cost for your house, to purchase the house, to finance the house, to maintain the house, to insure the house, to pay taxes on the house. All of the things I just mentioned are part of the data card for your mortgage. And you are going to have to buy a house in this semester. You're going to pretend that you have a job. You get to pick the job. You get to tell me how much you're going to make. And then we're going to take that to the next level and the next level, the next step, the next step. You're going to set up your 401k at work, and you're going to fund it based on what's available in that plan, and you're going to have to do the research. So I want this to be as lifelike as possible. That is your capstone assignment, and we'll talk about it each week. This week, we're just getting started. So please don't feel at all overwhelmed. I promise you, we're going to take it step by step, and each week you're going to do a little piece. I just wanted to kind of show you the big picture and let you know that the capstone assignment is where you're going to put it all together, and it's worth 200 points. And if you pay attention and do each week's assignment, you'll do great, and you'll find the capstone assignment's pretty easy. And again, the capstone assignment is going to be at the end of the semester. It's worth 200 points. Most of you, at this point, most of you are going to have more points than you need to earn an A in the course. So the course has 1,000 points. 200 of those are the capstone, 200 are class participation, and then 50 points for 12 assignments. But when you do the assignments early, you get 60 points. And so you increase those points, and you only need 950 points to get an A. So what's going to happen is by the time we get to week 10, if you do the math and you look and see how many points, if you assume you're going to get 200 points for class participation, which you will, and you assume you're going to get 200 points for the capstone, which you will, as long as you've gotten good grades on all of the assignments, I promise you those two pieces, 400 points, are a give me. They're there for you. So what's going to happen is by the time we get to week 10 and you take all those points into account, you're going to be like, hey, I've already earned an A. Don't even have to do the capstone, but you do have to do the capstone. Everybody does. So it's not negotiable. Anyway, that's how the points are going to rack up, especially for those of you who are new to the course. I want you to understand turning assignments in early by Friday at 3 p.m. gives you 10 extra points, and that is designed to give you more points than you need as we get close to the end of the semester so that you can focus on other courses that are more challenging, more difficult, and very likely have a final exam that you will need to prepare for. This course, Money Study Group, Personal Finance, it's like my life's mission, my life's purpose. It's one of the things that I'm passionate about doing, and you're going to be invited to continue your journey into financial planning after the course is over. So I'm going to invite you, encourage you to keep your financial planning portal going and to continue to learn through resources that I'll make available to you well after the course is done. But to get started, we're going to make some assumptions. We're going to change some things and pretend that you're 10 years older and that you are already working. Now, pay attention to the assignments. We will gradually get to each of those next steps. This week, it's pretty simple. You're just getting set up and you're looking at your expenses, and you're going to give me a screenshot of that. So let's see. I think this week we're allowed to submit 2 PDFs since Ava says this week, do we attach so Christina asked a question and Ava answered it, and I'm just now seeing it. So just for my FYI, generally I ask you to turn in 1 PDF, but this week, if you turn in 2, that's fine. It's just easy for you to grab the PDF from your credit report and upload it. That tells me it's done. I'm going to delete it. I'm not going to look at it. I don't want to look at it. It's a lot of minutia, but you need to look at it. You need to look through the minutia and see if there's any surprises in it. And I just want to know you did it, but you can describe it to me. You can take a screenshot of part of it and let me know. I don't care how you confirm to me that you did your credit report. Just make sure I have no question about whether or not it was done. And it's easy to upload that PDF, so do it if that's easy for you. Cool, thanks, is Christina's response to Ava's answer to Christina's question. Moving right along. Okay, let's see. I think I covered everything. This is obviously incorrect. Part 4, upload 1 PDF document to Blackboard. We're not even using Blackboard. Do you see the challenges of running? I need to fix that. I will fix that. It's not Blackboard anymore. It's Canvas, as we all know. Sorry about that. And it's not 1 PDF in this assignment. It's 2. So that is incorrect. And I'll try to update that along with the other thing I need to update, which is the name of the quiz for this week in Money Study Group. So do the quiz. And I also posted some not extra credit, just extra information. Again, I was curious this morning as I was thinking about what I was going to talk about today, credit reports and FICO scores. I was just curious, what would ChatGTP say about credit reports and FICO scores? And so I posted this in Money Study Group. And I didn't even attribute this to ChatGTP because I was kind of in a hurry. But this is from, and it's crazy when you do like, ChatGTP is a terrible writer for most of the content that I write. But for some stuff that's just like factual, just pure facts like this, they did a pretty good job, I think. So you might want to read that. It's helpful. I mean, you can do your own research and easily find out everything you need to know this week to pass the quiz. And it's all in Money Study Group. It's there for you. It's just, I want you to know what makes up your credit score. I want you to know the difference between a credit report and a credit score. Mostly, I want you to start to think about credit as something that is, I'm going to talk about credit for a minute, what it is and how I think about credit and how I want you to think about credit, and then we'll be done for the day. So for years and years, I taught this course using Dave Ramsey's material. I don't know if you guys are too familiar with Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey has done a really good job of helping people conquer debt. I think next week or the week out, we're going to start working on an assignment that I call Credit Crush. And the Credit Crush assignment is where I'm going to teach you how to use different strategies to pay off debt. And I call it Credit Crush because you're crushing your credit. You're crushing it in a good way, getting rid of it, conquering it, winning the battle against debt. But credit, it's a big part of this semester. It's a big part of personal finance. And so I want to talk about it for just a minute before I let you go. Credit is, according to Dave Ramsey, I mean, if you ever watch Dave Ramsey or listen to him, he has these big scissors and they're really just stage props, right? Dave Ramsey's big idea is that credit is bad, credit cards are bad, and debt is bad, because Dave Ramsey's story, Dave Ramsey's claim to fame, is he got into big-time problems by over leveraging his business in real estate with loans. And so he lost everything and ended up starting over. And then he started his business. His business is hugely effective in the marketing department. Dave Ramsey is a marketing genius. So, and his message, it's relevant to so many people because so many people mismanage credit, especially credit cards. And credit it can be dangerous. But on the other hand, like I can't imagine not using my credit cards. And I have 2 credit cards, primarily a personal and a business. I don't even own a debit card. I use credit cards for everything. And I can't imagine not having credit cards. I mean, I get bonus points like crazy. I always pay off my monthly balance. Sometimes I forget or something happens and that's not good. But the plan is always pay them off. And they're a resource. They're a tool. They're a very helpful piece of my financial life. On the other hand, Dave Ramsey is like, no, get rid of the credit card. So I don't agree with that. But Dave Ramsey's done a lot of good things for a lot of people. I just want you to be aware of kind of my philosophy about credit. I think it's a tool. And I think if you use it wisely, it can help you. And that's why you need to understand what's on your credit report. That's why you need to understand what is your credit score. And so that's what this week's assignment is. But moving forward, I'm going to try to help you look at credit as something that you need to really be aware of as a consumer. Especially as a college student, you are a target. Credit is a product. It's not a privilege. I think that's something Dave Ramsey really preaches, is that credit is a product that people are trying to sell to you. And when I say people, anyone selling anything, especially if they're selling finance, they're trying to sell you credit. They're trying to sell it to you as if you deserve it. You know, it's kind of like the McDonald's ad, you deserve a break today. Get up and get away. But that's how marketing works. So you have to beware that credit card companies especially, but creditors in general, they're in it to win it. And what that means is they want to get your money in their pocket. And so I'm going to teach you this semester, we're going to talk about credit. Starting next week, we're going to spend a couple of weeks on credit as we prepare for and complete the Credit Crush assignments. But I want you to understand credit it's a product that is being sold to you. And it is a product where the people that sell it to you make a lot of money when you're ignorant. When you manage your credit cards, credit balances in such a way where you are not aware of how much money you're paying for fees and for interest, you can't imagine how much money you're giving away. And I didn't imagine how much money I was giving away until a point in my life came along where my wife, who was a lot more attentive to our finances than I was when I first got married, she pointed out that we were buried in debt and we needed to go on a spending freeze. And I did not like that idea because I like to spend money, and I earned the money and I wanted to spend the money, and I was young and I wasn't very smart, and I certainly wasn't paying attention to how much money we were spending by keeping credit balances that just kept getting bigger and bigger. And so you're going to learn that in the next couple of weeks. But today I just want to set the table and let you know that credit is a product. It's not a privilege. It's a very expensive product. And you need, if you're going to use credit, you need to have a plan, you need to have a strategy, and you need to pay attention to it. And so that's what we're starting off with in this week's assignment with your credit report and your credit score. And next week, we're going to get into some basic strategies for helping you manage credit and debt in a way that will put you in control and help you be aware of how they're going to try to sucker punch you, which is what they do. And when you discover how it really works, you'll probably be like me. You'll be like angry. You'll feel a little like you've been used. And so I'm going to help you understand how credit actually works. So that's pretty much it for this Zoom meeting. I'm looking for any questions before I jump on over to the live stream and end it. And then I'm going to go drink some ice cold water because my throat is tickly. So any questions from the new students? Any questions from the old students? Well, I want to thank you guys for being here. I talked way too much.
I was wondering if I can talk to you privately after you end the live stream.
Certainly. I will end the live stream and I will hang tight and you can talk to me privately. But if we're on this Zoom call, I'm not sure how private it'll be. There will be others who could be spying on us, but probably everybody's going to leave here in a minute. But anyway, have a great day, Bella. I'm going to go end the live stream now. And so if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, thanks for being here. Make sure you leave a comment and let me know you're watching. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my new channel. It's at Jim Munchback. Munchback has an H on the end. This is where we will post all of the content for this semester. And there is a playlist special for you. Just look at the list of playlists. This video and everyone this semester will be in that playlist. And in the video comments, you'll see a link to what I'm showing on my screen right now. So again, thanks for being here. I'm going to end the live stream now.